I'm Karen, 29F, and I've been married to Brian, 32M, for 3 years now. We've had a great relationship, and I thought we were on the same page about our future plans. We both agreed that we wanted to wait a few more years before having kids, focusing on our careers and enjoying our time together first. Last week, Brian dropped a bombshell on me. His ex-girlfriend from college, Lisa, 31F, reached out to him after nearly a decade of no contact. At first, I didn't think much of it. Brian and I have always been open about our past relationships, and I knew they had dated for about 2 years in college before breaking up amicably. But then Brian told me the real reason Lisa had contacted him. She has a 9-year-old son, Tyler, who is seriously ill. Tyler needs a kidney transplant, and Lisa was reaching out to everyone she knew to see if they could be potential donors. What shocked me even more was when Brian revealed that Tyler is actually his biological son. Brian explained that Lisa had found out she was pregnant shortly after they broke up. She decided to raise the child on her own and never told Brian about it. Now, faced with her son's critical health condition, she felt she had no choice but to reach out to Brian. I was stunned. I couldn't believe that Brian had a child he never knew about. But what really threw me for a loop was Brian's next statement. He not only wants to get tested to see if he's a match for the kidney donation, but he also wants to be involved in Tyler's life moving forward. He even mentioned the possibility of adopting Tyler if Lisa agrees. I don't know how to process all of this. On one hand, I understand that Brian wants to help his biological son. I can't imagine how overwhelming it must be for him to suddenly discover he has a child, especially one who is seriously ill. But on the other hand, I'm not sure I'm ready for this massive change in our lives. We had plans. We were supposed to travel, focus on our careers, and eventually start our own family when we felt ready. Now, all of those plans seem to be thrown out the window. I'm worried about how this will affect our relationship and our future together. Brian has been spending a lot of time at the hospital with Tyler and Lisa. He's already forming a bond with Tyler, and I can see how much it means to him. But I can't help feeling left out and uncertain about my place in all of this. I've tried talking to Brian about my concerns, but he seems so focused on Tyler that I'm not sure he's really hearing me. He keeps saying that we'll figure it out together, but I'm not convinced. I'm afraid that if I push too hard, I'll come across as selfish or unsupportive. My friends are divided on the issue. Some think I should support Brian unconditionally, while others understand my reservations. My parents are concerned about how this will affect our future and have suggested that we seek counseling to navigate this unexpected situation. I love Brian, and I want to support him. But I'm also scared about what this means for us. Am I being selfish for feeling this way? How do I balance supporting my husband with my own fears and reservations about this sudden change in our lives? I don't want to give Brian an ultimatum, but I'm also not sure I'm ready to be a stepmother to a 9-year-old, especially one with serious health issues. I'm worried about the financial implications, the time commitment, and how this will change the dynamic of our relationship. Part of me feels guilty for even having these thoughts. There's a child who needs help, and here I am worrying about my own comfort and plans. But I can't help how I feel. I'm scared, confused, and unsure about what the future holds for us. I've been trying to spend time with Tyler too, hoping that I might form a connection with him. He's a sweet kid, and I can see why Brian has fallen for him so quickly. But every time I'm at the hospital, I can't shake the feeling that I'm an outsider in this situation. Lisa has been polite but distant with me. I can tell she's focused entirely on Tyler's health, which is understandable. But I also wonder if she harbors any lingering feelings for Brian. They have this shared history and now a child together, and I feel like I'm on the outside looking in. Brian and I have always made decisions together, but now I feel like I'm just along for the ride. He's talking about moving to a bigger house to accommodate Tyler, looking into schools in our area, and even discussing potential treatment options with Lisa and the doctors. All of this is happening so fast, and I feel like I'm struggling to keep up. I know that if we do end up adopting Tyler, our lives will change dramatically. We'll be instant parents to a child with complex medical needs. Our financial situation will change, our social lives will be different, and our plans for the future will need to be completely reimagined. I've always wanted to be a mother someday, but I imagined it would be on my own terms. I thought I'd have time to prepare, to feel ready. Now, I'm faced with the possibility of becoming a stepmother almost overnight, and I'm not sure if I'm up for the challenge. I love Brian, and I want to make this work. But I'm also terrified of losing myself in this situation. I don't want to resent Brian or Tyler, but I'm afraid that if I don't voice my concerns now, that's exactly what will happen. So here I am, Reddit, pouring my heart out to strangers on the internet because I don't know where else to turn. Am I wrong for having these feelings? How do I navigate this situation without hurting Brian or Tyler? Is there a way to support them while also protecting myself and our relationship? I feel like I'm at a crossroads, and whatever decision we make will change our lives forever. I just hope we can find a way through this that works for everyone involved. Update 1. It's been a whirlwind few weeks since my last post, and I wanted to update you all on what's been happening. First of all, thank you to everyone who offered advice and support. It really helped me gain some perspective on the situation. After a lot of discussion and some tense moments, Brian and I decided to see a couples counselor to help us navigate this situation. It's been helpful to have a neutral third party to mediate our conversations and help us understand each other's perspectives. The good news is that Brian was a match for Tyler's kidney donation. The surgery is scheduled for next month, and while I'm nervous about Brian going under the knife, I'm glad that we can help Tyler. Seeing Brian's determination to help his son has made me realize how important this is to him. However, things took an unexpected turn last week. Lisa's parents reached out to Brian, and what they revealed has complicated the situation even further. Apparently, Lisa had told them a completely different story about Tyler's father. She had claimed that Tyler's dad was a man she dated briefly after Brian, who had abandoned her when he found out she was pregnant. Lisa's parents only found out the truth recently when Lisa confessed everything in light of Tyler's medical condition. They were shocked and felt that Brian deserved to know the whole story. They also revealed something else that has thrown us for a loop. Lisa has been struggling with substance abuse for the past few years. This new information has changed things significantly. Brian is angry and hurt that Lisa lied not only to him but to her entire family. He's also concerned about Tyler's well-being if Lisa has been dealing with addiction issues. Now, instead of just considering part-time involvement or possible adoption, Brian is talking about seeking full custody of Tyler. He's worried about leaving Tyler in Lisa's care, especially given Tyler's medical needs. I'm conflicted. On one hand, I understand Brian's concerns and his desire to protect his son. On the other hand, the prospect of becoming full-time parents to a child with complex medical needs is overwhelming. We're not prepared for this, financially or emotionally. Brian has been in contact with a family lawyer to understand our options. Lisa, upon finding out that her parents told us everything, has been alternating between apologizing profusely and lashing out angrily. It's a messy situation, and Tyler is caught in the middle of it all. I've been spending more time with Tyler, trying to provide some stability in all this chaos. He's a resilient kid, but I can tell all of this is taking a toll on him. He's confused about why there's so much tension between the adults in his life, and he's scared about his upcoming surgery. My own feelings are all over the place. I'm angry at Lisa for lying and potentially putting Tyler's health at risk with her substance abuse. I'm proud of Brian for stepping up, but I'm also terrified of the changes that are coming our way. And I feel guilty for still having reservations about all of this. Our families have gotten involved now too. Brian's parents are fully supportive of him seeking custody of Tyler and have even offered financial help. My parents are more cautious, concerned about how this will impact our lives and our future plans. Friends have been supportive, but I can tell some of them think we're crazy for considering taking on this responsibility. A few have drifted away, seemingly uncomfortable with the complicated situation we're in. Brian and I are trying to present a united front, but behind closed doors, we're still struggling. We love each other, but this situation has put an enormous strain on our relationship. We're both stressed, sleeping poorly, and snapping at each other over small things. I'm trying to be supportive, but I'm also mourning the life I thought we were going to have. Our plans for the future have been completely derailed, and I'm struggling to adjust to this new reality. The custody battle that seems to be looming is another source of stress. If we do end up with full custody of Tyler, it will mean completely restructuring our lives. Our careers, our home, our finances, everything will need to change. I'm also worried about Tyler's emotional well-being in all of this. He loves his mom, despite her faults, and I'm concerned about how a custody battle will affect him. Is it really in his best interest to be taken away from the only parent he's ever known? As the day of the kidney transplant gets closer, the tension is mounting. Lisa has been making promises to get clean, to be a better mother, but Brian is skeptical. I'm caught in the middle, trying to support my husband while also advocating for what I think is best for Tyler. I never imagined I'd be in this position, potentially becoming a mother to a 9-year-old with serious health issues, in the middle of a complicated custody situation. Some days I feel strong and ready to take on this challenge. Other days, I find myself longing for the simpler life we had just a month ago. I love Brian, and I'm growing to love Tyler too. But I'm scared about what the future holds for us. Will our marriage survive this stress? Can we really provide the stable home that Tyler needs? Are we doing the right thing by pursuing custody? As we prepare for the surgery and the legal battles that may follow, I find myself hoping for a miracle, some solution that will work out for everyone involved. But I'm also trying to prepare myself for the long, difficult road ahead. Thank you all for listening. Any advice on how to handle this situation would be greatly appreciated. How do we balance doing what's best for Tyler with taking care of our own relationship? How do we navigate this complex situation without losing ourselves in the process? Update 2. I can't believe it's been 2 months since my last update. So much has happened, and our lives have changed in ways I never could have imagined. I want to thank everyone who has offered support and advice throughout this journey. First, the good news: Tyler's kidney transplant was successful. Brian's recovery was smooth, and Tyler is doing well, all things considered. It's been amazing to see the positive change in Tyler's health. He has more energy now, and his outlook is much brighter. Now, for the complicated part. The custody situation has evolved in unexpected ways. About a week after the surgery, Lisa disappeared. She left a note saying she knew she wasn't fit to be a mother right now and that she was checking herself into a long-term rehab facility. She didn't say where or for how long. This left us in a difficult position. With Lisa gone, we had no choice but to take Tyler in. Child Services got involved, and given that Brian is Tyler's biological father and was already in the process of seeking custody, they agreed to grant us temporary custody while Lisa is in rehab. The past few weeks have been a crash course in parenting. We've had to quickly child-proof our home, rearrange our work schedules, and learn how to care for a child with ongoing medical needs. It's been exhausting and overwhelming, but also rewarding in ways I didn't expect. Tyler is an amazing kid. He's resilient and brave, facing all of these changes with a strength that amazes me. He misses his mom, of course, and there have been nights filled with tears and questions we don't have answers to. But he's also slowly starting to feel at home with us. Brian has taken to fatherhood in a way that both impresses and terrifies me. He's all in, rearranging his entire life to be there for Tyler. He's at every doctor's appointment, helping with homework, and even learning to cook Tyler's favorite meals. It's beautiful to watch, but it also highlights the gap between where Brian is emotionally and where I am. I'm trying my best to be a good parent to Tyler. I help him with his medications, make sure he's comfortable, and try to provide emotional support. But I can't shake the feeling that I'm playing a role, rather than truly being a mother. I care for Tyler deeply, but I don't have the instant connection that Brian seems to have developed. This has led to some tension between Brian and me. He doesn't understand why I'm not as enthusiastic about our new family dynamic as he is. We've had some heated arguments about it, usually after Tyler has gone to bed. Brian accuses me of not trying hard enough, while I feel like he's not acknowledging how much our lives have changed and how difficult this adjustment is for me. Our families have been supportive, but their constant presence is another source of stress. Brian's parents are over all the time, doting on Tyler and offering unsolicited parenting advice. My parents are trying to be helpful, but I can tell they're concerned about how this is affecting our marriage. Financially, we're struggling. The medical bills are piling up, and we've had to make significant changes to our lifestyle to accommodate Tyler's needs. We're both working reduced hours to be there for Tyler, which means our income has taken a hit. The strain is starting to show, and we've had to dip into our savings more than once. Friends have been a mixed bag. Some have been incredibly supportive, offering to babysit or bringing over meals. Others have slowly disappeared from our lives, uncomfortable with the dramatic change in our situation. I miss the easy social life we used to have, the ability to go out for drinks or take a weekend trip on a whim. In the midst of all this, we received a letter from Lisa. She's doing well in rehab and hopes to be out in a few months. She expressed gratitude for us taking care of Tyler but also made it clear that she intends to fight for custody once she's completed her program. This has added another layer of stress to our already complicated situation. Brian is determined to fight for full custody, arguing that Tyler needs stability and that Lisa has proven herself unfit as a parent. I'm more hesitant. While I agree that Tyler's well-being should be our primary concern, I'm worried about the toll a lengthy legal battle will take on all of us, especially Tyler. I find myself lying awake at night, wondering how we got here and where we're headed. I love Brian, and I'm growing to love Tyler, but I'm also mourning the life we left behind. I feel guilty for these thoughts, but I can't help wondering if we've taken on more than we can handle. Brian and I are still seeing our counselor, trying to work through these issues. But sometimes I worry that we're growing apart rather than coming together through this challenge. The dreams and plans we once shared seem like distant memories now. I'm committed to making this work, for Tyler's sake as well as for our marriage. But I'm also scared. Scared that we're in over our heads, scared that our marriage won't survive this stress, scared that we're not truly doing what's best for Tyler. As we prepare for the custody battle that seems inevitable, I find myself at a crossroads. Do we fight to keep Tyler, knowing it will forever change the trajectory of our lives? Or do we step back and let Lisa reclaim her role as Tyler's primary caregiver, possibly sacrificing Tyler's well-being in the process? I don't have the answers, and the weight of these decisions is overwhelming. All I know is that we're in this now, for better or worse, and we have to find a way forward that works for all of us. Any advice on how to navigate this situation would be deeply appreciated. How do we balance our needs as a couple with Tyler's needs? How do we make decisions about Tyler's future when everything is so uncertain? And how do I reconcile my own conflicting feelings about this sudden, drastic change in our lives? Update 3. It's been half a year since this whirlwind began, and I wanted to provide one final update on our situation. So much has changed, and yet in some ways, we're still grappling with the same core issues. First, the biggest news: after a lot of deliberation and legal consultation, we decided not to pursue full custody of Tyler. This wasn't an easy decision, and it caused a lot of conflict between Brian and me. Brian was initially adamant about fighting for custody, but after many long discussions and sessions with our counselor, we came to a difficult compromise. Lisa completed her rehab program successfully and has been sober for 4 months now. She's been attending parenting classes and therapy sessions, showing a genuine commitment to turning her life around. While we were skeptical at first, her progress has been undeniable. We've worked out a shared custody arrangement where Tyler lives primarily with Lisa, but spends every other weekend and 1 evening a week with us. We also have him for extended periods during school holidays. This way, Tyler gets to maintain his relationship with his mother while also having Brian, and me, in his life consistently. The transition hasn't been easy. Tyler struggled with the back and forth at first, and there were times when we questioned if we'd made the right decision. But seeing him slowly adapt and even thrive under this new arrangement has been reassuring. Brian had a hard time letting go of the idea of full custody. He was worried about Tyler's well-being. It felt like he was abandoning his son. It took time for him to see that this arrangement could actually be beneficial for Tyler, providing him with a stable home life while maintaining connections with both sides of his family. As for me, I've had to do a lot of soul-searching. I realized that part of my resistance to full custody was rooted in fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of losing the life I thought I would have. Working through these fears in therapy has been challenging but necessary. Our marriage has been tested in ways I never imagined. There were moments when I thought we wouldn't make it, when the strain of this situation seemed too much to bear. But we've also grown stronger in many ways. We've learned to communicate better, to support each other through difficult decisions, and to find compromise in seemingly impossible situations. Financially, we're slowly recovering. The medical bills are still a burden, but we've worked out a payment plan and are gradually getting back on our feet. We've had to adjust our lifestyle and future plans, but we're finding a new normal. My relationship with Tyler has evolved too. While I still don't feel like a mother to him, I've grown into a role that feels authentic, somewhere between a friend, an aunt, and a mentor. Tyler and I have our own special bond now, different from his relationship with Brian or Lisa, but important in its own way. Lisa has become an unexpected ally in all of this. As she's worked on her sobriety and parenting skills, we've developed a cautious friendship. It's not always easy, and there are still moments of tension, but we're all trying to put Tyler's needs first. Looking back, I can hardly believe how much our lives have changed in just 6 months. The future I imagined for Brian and me looks very different now, but it's not necessarily worse, just different. We're learning to embrace the uncertainty and find joy in our new family dynamic. There are still challenges ahead. We're taking it one day at a time, knowing that we may need to adjust our arrangement as Tyler grows older and his needs change. But for now, we found a balance that seems to be working for everyone involved. To those who have followed our story and offered advice along the way, thank you. Your support and perspectives have been invaluable. To anyone facing a similar situation, I want to say that there's no perfect solution. What works for one family might not work for another. The key is to remain flexible, communicate openly, and always prioritize the well-being of the child involved. This journey has taught me that family comes in many forms, and that love and commitment are more important than biological ties or societal expectations. It's been a difficult road, but I'm cautiously optimistic about our future. Whatever challenges come our way, I know that we'll face them together, Brian, Tyler, Lisa, and me, as the unconventional but loving family we've become.